Welcome back to The Verdict. It's almost Halloween time, so we're going to watch some classic seasonal favorites you know and love. Stick around. Hello everyone, my name is Kaleb, and today I'm joined by my friend Michael and Alexis.
Hello.
The first movie we're going to be doing is Scary Godmother from 2003. This movie stars Tabitha St. Germain, Britt McKillop, and Alex Dodek. Let's watch that trailer.
Bloody Mary! Oh, the Mary!
I thought monsters ate little girls.
Who told you that bunch of nonsense?
Groovy? My cousin Jimmy told me. He said that the monsters will come and eat every one of us.
Ooh, snacks!
I think it's time we taught those big kids a lesson.
Well, that sure was something. Guys, what do you think of the movie Scary Godmother?
I'll go first. I personally didn't think it was too bad. For it being 2003, it's kind of outdated, but still at the same time, I think it was a real kind of funny retrospective Halloween, What about you?
I honestly really liked it. It brings back that childhood memory, gives vibes. The animation style is very different. I kind of liked it, but it's also one of those things that you look at it and you're like, So, 50-50.
Could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, you started off with a bang. How about you rate your own movie? What do you think about this?
I chose this movie because there's just so much wrong with it I feel like I can talk about. For one thing, it is from 2003. I wasn't alive. Alexis, I don't think you were alive.
Nope.
Michael, I think you were in your 30s at the time. So this movie, the animation leaves a lot to be desired. It's a very weird artistic choice with the soulless pitch black eyes, much like this witch on this fantastic set that we've been provided, and I appreciate whoever got this for us. But I gotta say this movie is something, I wouldn't say it's great, I'd say it's a lot like The Craven of its time, just because it just kind of exists, That's my personal opinion. I thought it was just okay.
I can definitely agree with you on that, but kind of watching it now, you kind of realize other stuff you didn't realize as a kid. Kind of like the stop motion of it. It's kind of very far fetched and does not look like what we're used to at this time. But like I said, I thought it was really funny. A couple parts, especially like the group of older kids trying to act like they're all big and bad, but at the same time, we're all deep down scared of something.
Mm-hmm.
I completely get that. Back to what you were saying about the eyes, that kind of weirded me out. I think it would have been okay if they just had the straight black eyes, but the fact that they defined the eye socket and then didn't give them eyes, and then that in comparison to Hannah Marie, with the giant eyes, it was just very different. But I guess that's the whole point, to make her stand out.
A little bit more. I can see that too. What do you guys think about the monsters in it?
So this movie was an adaptation from a book. I don't know if you guys knew that. I think the designs, we can very well tell that they were taken from a book, like the monster, the skeleton, and the werewolf. Definitely the vampires too, because they were just sort of seen as just straight black lines. The skeleton, I really had a bone to pick with this character because he just wasn't funny at all. He's the line "skeleton in the closet" with his voice in 2003 felt like I was watching a Michael Bay Transformers movie, because it was okay, this is getting a little skeleton-y. I gotta say, character design was fine. It was a weird design choice to have the characters themselves be smooth and again soulless in the eyes, but have the background be really defined.
Yeah,
I feel like that was an interesting choice.
Well, I personally think kind of just the whole aspect of like what the stop motion kind of looked like, I think it wasn't bad, but still at the same time, we kind of seen older movies that have done stop motion or like of the sorts and kind of look better. So I kind of agree with Alexis a little bit. They could have done better, but for time's sake, I don't think it could be any better. They kind of just rushed it, a spooky, funny Halloween movie, but there's nothing more you can really do about that.
Yeah, I agree with you guys about the animation style completely. I actually enjoyed the characters' personalities though. Like they all were very different and they all had like their own purpose, which is good because like obviously Hannah Marie was the main character, but the fact that they put the effort into giving everyone their own personality, I really like that.
Oh yeah, my favorite was Bugaboo, the big monster that you saw chasing Hannah Marie in the trailer. And one of the quotes that I have is, yeah, we're all big and scared, but we're not mean. That's kind of just like the one thing I was kind of taking of it. They want to be big and scary because it's their job to do that, but they have a personality. At the end of the day, like everyone, you can be a stickler at school, work, whatever, but you come home and relax and do what you want to do.
Definitely. I gotta say, this movie also was kind of awkward at times because they had that recount scene where they just kept saying recount over and over again. Fast forward, not recount, fast forward. And then the flashback where they started asking like the parents.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were going for. I think it was garbage is what they were going for. Or something akin to a nuclear explosion happening in my brain.
Yeah, that I kind of was like, they said flashback, and I was like, oh, this is supposed to be the mom and dad talking to them, but they kind of just like throws everything off.
It felt like when you're with someone in like a group area and they start talking to their friends about like inside jokes, and you're just sitting there like.
Right, exactly. It took me a moment to even realize what they were trying to do. Like if they were to pan to it or show the kids like setting up that they're like gonna act it out, then I would have got it immediately. But like when they said flashback, I fully expected them to show the parents like what they were doing. Yes, exactly.
It's also, they say like, oh yeah, this is a thing kids do, right? They set up these elaborate stage plays. They get in like, they act like there's a camera in front of them and they start talking like there's a camera in front of them and they're like just talking for no reason. It's weird to think that people do that,
Well, I feel like personally the group was kind of just on the back burner a little bit because, we kind of got bits and pieces of them, but, you really didn't get to see how they acted. And thank God because, they were just rage baiting each other the whole time. And it was just, like I said, it was funny, but it kind of got repetitive.
Yeah, I don't like any of them. I think that's a fair thing to say. Mainly the kid Jimmy, he feels like a kid who'd say 6'7" as like you're at your parents' funeral because he was 67 years old. So, not a big fan of him,
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they did make a spinoff movie, Revenge of the Jimmy, which he tries to take down Halloween. I was going to watch that because personally I didn't know which Scary Godmother we were going to watch, so I wanted to be prepared. But I'm glad I didn't because it would have been a long night for sure.
One was bad enough.
Yeah.
It was actually, there's a 3. I think the third one's just called Sharknado. And I was going to make you watch that one too. Oh. We got a lot of movie to get because it was only 44 minutes, I think, 45 minutes. I watched it on YouTube for free. I'm not paying to see Scary Godmother, but I feel like it was 40 minutes too long. Again, because of like just repeating bits with like the whole recount thing, and then it was the flashbacks, and then the party scene. It was just kind of like, this is how creative you can be with like monsters and the undead creating something. It's just, I don't know. If I had to rate this movie, it'd probably be like a 2, and that's being generous. But I'm curious to see what you guys would rate this movie.
I personally would say, I wouldn't be too harsh on it. I'd say probably about a 4 and a 5 middle ground. It definitely brought back some memories of watching this because I did not know what Scary Godmother was until I was like, oh my God, I remember some of this. But middle ground, 4 or 5.
I actually was going to say about the same thing. I think 4 or 5, like you said. I enjoyed it, and it brings back like the childhood memories, but like we've been talking about, the animation could have been better.
Well, Alexis, I know you have a movie for us, so go ahead and tell the viewers what movie you chose.
So actually, I chose Hocus Pocus. It was from 1933. The movie stars Sarah Jessica Parker, Betty Miller, and Kathy Jiminy. So, what do you guys think about that movie?
Well, let's take a look at the trailer just to find out.
1693, the people of Salem, Massachusetts,
Witches!
thought they got rid of the Sanderson sisters for good.
We shall be back!
300 years later, it's Halloween Eve, and they're back.
We're home! Are you boys a little old to be trick-or-treating?
We're talking about 3 ancient hags versus the 20th century. How bad can it be?
Now they're digging up old friends and running amok, looking for the one thing they miss most.
Who stay for supper?
I'm not hungry.
But we are.
Only one boy has the power to stop them
Prepare to die again!
You have no powers here, you fool!
before all Salem falls under their spell.
Hell on you!
So, now that we saw the trailer, how do you guys think this compares to the other Halloween classics?
Well, me personally, this was my first time seeing the movie all the way through. Usually hadn't seen Hocus Pocus, but I thought the movie was very good. The story was great. The characters, for the most part, was good. My favorite character had to be Danny, the little girl. She was the funniest character she was the best character. Max was annoying. I didn't like him in the last 20 minutes. He was okay, but the whole movie I didn't like him because I felt he was whiny. What do you think, Michael?
Man, you took it straight out of my breath. I feel like it was, as a classic movie, my sister really loved watching this on that and Nightmare Before Christmas too. So I watched bits and pieces of this, but really it's an amazing story. You kind of hear about the Sanders sisters and basically how they took over Salem as the Salem witch trials in this movie. And then you kind of just see them come back and live in the 20th century. So a lot has changed since they've been gone. There's buses, parties that they don't even know what's really going on. But it's just really like a slapstick comedy that anybody could just really watch.
Yeah, and the part of this being a 1993 movie is that this was sort of like when PG actually meant PG. What do you have to say to that, Alexis?
It's definitely very childlike, obviously, which was the intended purpose of it. But like you were saying, it was PG. It was.
It was a little edgier than like modern PG-13 movies.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a lot of the jokes were one of those things, kind of like Shrek, where it's like you sit there and then you get a whole different meaning from it as you're older.
Just the bus scene alone, I was like, oh, it's one of those movies.
Right.
Because that dude was just straight up like, ooh, I need an ice pack because you ladies are giving me a fever. And I was like, do people talk like that?
Well, I feel like it's honestly, I really love when
the blonde lady shows up.
No, I really love when production companies or whatnot, they push to try to the boundaries of PG and PG-13, and I think they did a really good job because it's still friendly. It's still you have to think about it, but because at the time I'm 8, 9 when I actually watched this movie the first time, and I never really caught that until I watched the bus scene, and I was like, oh, especially
You were 9 years old when the movie came out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Man, you're
I was like
old.
1993.
I know I'm not.
Math's not math.
I'm not.
I know you're an immortal being. We've talked about this off camera.
When I watched this, I was 8 or 9. I don't know.
Okay.
When it was.
So like
it's been
1997?
Basically.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So when you were watching this movie, What'd you think of it compared to now?
I feel like it's still. First of all, I was born in 2003. I don't know. You keep throwing this 30. I don't know where this keeps coming from. I'm 22 years old. I'm not that old. But watching this,
years.
it kind of. I really didn't pay attention to it much because I was like, it's just another witch Halloween movie. But watching it back now, it's like it's real funny. Like I said, it's real slapstick. I have like a lot of dark humor and comedy in there that I kind of was just like chucking along at.
Yeah. And what about the humor? Did you like? Oh, this is for everybody, obviously. Alexis, I don't want you to feel left out because you roasted me last time and you think I'm avoiding you.
You should be, honestly.
Anyways, what about like the humor you think compared to now? I don't know if you all have known that there's like a sequel that came out a while ago, and there might be a third that's coming out. I saw that when I was reading up on this. What do you guys think of like the humor compared to like sort of modern like Halloween movies?
I really haven't watched any modern Halloween movies, but I would say kind of PG movies in general now, they kind of rely more on like gimmicks and like, fart jokes. I'm not saying like every single one of them do that, but like Despicable Me, that's the one thing I kind of think about now. It's like, if it's not a gimmick, then you're literally just staring at the screen like.
Yeah, humor these days is a lot different than how it used to be.
For better or for worse?
50-50. I honestly kind of like the humor these days. It's just who I am, but...
I feel like you kind of just have to hit the right audience, too, because, like I said, some people might actually get the joke and be like, oh.
Right.
Have like a little quick chuckle, but then you kind of just like keep it going,
Yeah. And speaking of the right audience, I want to say that this movie is kind of like filled with tropes that we've seen before, but it utilizes them well, I'd say. Like the new kid in town, the older brother, like younger sister who's like a smart aleck, and like the parents not believe them like when there's a mischief afoot. I feel like it does a lot of, we've seen a lot of these tropes done before, but this movie kind of takes them and like writes their own story with it, I believe. Because even like the beginning with the Sanderson sisters, the main characters who like, they're all over the marketing, they get like unalived in the beginning. Like, not on screen, off screen. But you wouldn't usually see that in most modern movies. You usually see, like, it'd be crazy if you, like, watching Despicable Me, what you said, and then you just see the minions. Whoosh. But anyways, what do you guys think of, like, the timing of this movie? Was it, like, right time, or was it, like, ahead of its time?
I think it was right time, because nowadays you kind of have that, I don't want to, you don't want to, they don't push boundaries enough, I would say. Because nowadays you kind of don't want to be canceled, because cancel culture is kind of a big thing in our times. And you kind of just want to make sure you do right against everyone. So they kind of pulled tropes that was like timeless. Like anyone can just really be like, oh, okay, man, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. It kind of works though, honestly. I kind of like how they put all of them together. It does give the childhood vibe, and it's a lot easier for kids to understand the things that they've seen multiple times. When adults, I get that they will sit there and like, they'll be like, I've seen this a million times, I don't want to watch this, but again, it was intended for kids.
Yeah. And this movie, I feel like it was much better than Scary Godmother. I would probably rate this movie, I think I honestly rate it like an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed this movie. I watched it straight after I got home. It was a great watch.
I'm gonna go with you with that. It's a very, very classical movie, so I'm gonna give it an 8 too. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I think I would give it a 9. It was one of my childhood favorites.
Oh, interesting. Have you seen the second one?
I have, yes.
Is it? You think it's better or worse?
I think that they casted the young versions of the Sanderson sisters pretty well, but other than that, I didn't like it as much, I guess.
Interesting. We'll have to get more into that later. Speaking of kids, Michael, I know you have a movie about like youth adolescence. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, a little bit of the Day of the Dead. The movie that I'll be talking about is Paranorman, that came out in 2012. The movie stars Cody Smith McPhee, Anna Kendrick, and Casey Affleck. But let's watch the trailer.
when your best friends
You see ghosts all the time?
aren't alive,
Hi, how's it hanging?
Haven't heard that one before.
it's hard to fit in.
Look, it's Abnorman.
Who's a good boy? That's not his chin.
From the makers of Coraline,
The witch's ghost is going to raise the dead.
you've got to use your gift to stop it.
You, might want to give that a few minutes.
You don't become a hero
Norman!
Norman? This is so... Norman!
by being normal.
Norman! This is getting completely out of hand!
Paranorman.
You want to play some hockey?
So this movie follows Norman. He is a small town kid, well, moving to a small town, and can really just see dead people. And he kind of uses that to break the curse, the witch's curse. Can't remember the name of the town, but this studio
Florida.
company, is it?
No.
No.
I think it just sounds like Florida, where that stuff kind of happens.
Yeah, all the stuff that goes on down in there. But this is the same company that brought Coraline, Leica. So one of the topics I kind of wanted to ask you guys is, how do you guys think this movie was going against Coraline? Because Coraline is one of their biggest Halloween movies. So you think this is a follow-up or a letdown?
I can't say because I haven't seen Coraline. I got bored 10 minutes into it.
Who is this man?
Are you serious?
I have the attention span of a squirrel. Alexis, now to you.
Everybody knows you have the attention span of a squirrel. You didn't have to waste our time by saying that. But I really enjoyed it, honestly. I know you said that you hadn't seen Coraline, but I liked it a lot. I think that the animation styles are slightly different between Paranorman and Coraline, but I would have to say that I like Coraline more.
Well, I definitely agree with you. You can't beat Coraline for sure. But I feel like as a follow-up to this movie, you know, the colors are definitely a lot more vibrant than Coraline, because Coraline, you know, is really dark, very eerie. But a little bit of this was just comedy, you know, having a group of people have a curse bestowed beyond them and kind of just trying to figure out what they do. But characters, Neil, love that guy.
Coraline was that the blue-haired girl? Oh,
Yes.
I thought you were talking about like the sequel to Avatar. Legends of Korra?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I know you're talking about, like, blue avatars.
No.
No, like, girl in the raincoat goes into the tunnel and meets, like, the other family.
Maze Runner?
Dude, no.
All right, he's rage baiting us at this point. So we're just going to keep on going. But, yeah, it's literally, I think it kind of just relied on its comedy aspect. You know, there were a couple things that really didn't make sense, but at the same time, that's every kind of low-budget movie. But
Yeah. I gotta say though, the stop motion in this movie was amazing. It's like, it took me time to realize like, oh, this isn't just CGI. They had to literally frame by frame change the expressions of these like little figurines and like move them and track them in the same spots. Like when they're in the action scenes where like they're like running away, I'm like, man, this is cool. And then I had to realize this is like someone moving the pieces one by one. And I'm like, man, I think my like editing's bad. I couldn't imagine having to edit videos frame by frame by frame.
and like that's like dedication right there too.
Or lunacy.
I
don't
always
know,
kind of wondered like the process behind it. Honestly, like how do you go about scripting that? Do you write it like a play where you have like stage directions or?
That's a world beyond us.
You're gonna kill a lot of trees putting out those stage directions, I gotta say.
Right, like hand moves slightly here.
Slightly to the left.
Next picture.
How long it probably takes just to make them blink? It probably takes them like 10 whole minutes of like boom, move, boom, move. You guys have seen iCarly, you know the scene.
Yeah. But like,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about. Like, people can actually just do that too. How you can literally just make any visual thing compelling just because by, I guess, stop motion. I don't really know how the technical side of that. I kind of seen a little bit of the behind the scenes of Coraline, and that took I can't remember how long the production was, but it was literally like months of them just figuratively changing each one, and it's just amazing, honestly. So kudos if you guys are stop motion producers or whatnot.
I promised to watch Coraline, but I don't want to lie to y'all.
Well, let's not give Paranorman its doubts. You know, it's a good movie. I feel like I said, it's a real slapstick. I feel like the dark humor and a little bit more of pushing that boundary, because it is a PG movie. They do cuss, and a little bit more the older audience can be like, it's funny.
Right.
It's interesting too how this it pushes boundaries in sort of ways, not in just in the horror aspect. With I don't know if we say the endings on these things on the show, but where the spoiler warning. That's good. Thank you. Spoiler warning. It ends up the witch is has the girl has the same last name as his uncle, as Norman's, so they are related in some way. And the movie doesn't really point that out to you, doesn't push it towards you. It says, hey, if you're paying attention, you'll get these breadcrumbs together. And they show as a child, there are no villains in this whole story, because the zombie leader, he said that I thought I was doing the right thing at the time. Yeah. And it's crazy to me that they got this such influential story of even we're dealing with this today, where it's hey, you like this and I don't like this because this has bad historical context, so that's bad. But with this, they're hey man, it was a different time, they didn't know. Because even when the zombie priest gets sent away, they're not he doesn't smile as he's going away. He's man, I still recognize I did some bad stuff and I don't know what's going after this. It's just so interesting to me how the story continued with it.
And kind of just piggybacking off of that, I think they did a great job, keeping us engaged in the movie. A little bit, the beginning of it kind of was a little bit slower, but you kind of had to wrap your mind against that. Norman can actually see dead people, and people just think he's crazy, but at the same time he's not. These people are just floating around, going by their day by day, or I can't remember what in the movie they talked about, how they have unfinished business. Yeah. So really just kind of getting that grasp, and once everyone started to get that, that's when the movie started going. It was bam, 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 bam. And I really kind of loved the zombie pillagers. Or not villagers, not pillagers, that's from Minecraft. But I think they were a real good addition to the movies as zombies, but that's just personally me.
Yeah. I feel like the Pilgrims were definitely misunderstood in time. And just like this movie, I don't think it did super great at the box office, but I feel like it was a great movie. Honestly, I'd have to give it another 8 out of 10, just saying that. Because just of off the scale and everything, of how much dedication they had to it, I feel like it was a great movie. But what do you guys think?
I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay. So I think it was pretty good. I think that there were things that they could have done to amp it up a little bit, but I do like all the visual effects of the magic and things breaking apart and that kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna maybe give it a 7.
Dang, you stole it from me again. I was also gonna give it a 7 as well, just because, like I said, I love Coraline. Coraline is a very childhood movie for me. So kind of being able to see how Leica kind of produced something in the same light it was pretty interesting. It was really engaging too. So if you guys haven't watched Paranorman, just give it a shout.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for being on this episode of The Verdict with me. That about wraps up the episode today. That's all we have. The verdict is in, and we'll see you next week for a brand new episode. See you then.